Good evening, one and all. On behalf of Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you for the 35th episode of Optometry series. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your continuous support. I would like to introduce my team members, Ms. Anshika ma'am and Ms. Meenakshi. Thank you both of you. Thank you for your continuous support. So now over to Anshi ma'am. So Anshi ma'am, what is today's topic and who is the moderator?
Okay, thank you, Gomati. So today's topic we have is about personal protective equipments and how they are useful in safeguarding the eye. And for this topic, we have a wonderful moderator, Ms. Janani from Shankanathalaya. She's a senior optometrist there, and she's been working with the occupational optometry department. So since she's doing a lot of camps related to safety and eye care, I think she would have been the best person to join us today and moderate the session. So thank you so much, Janani. Over to introduction of Janani.
So today's MC is Ragman. It's Ragman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rahman Khan, and I am delighted to be your MC for today's session. We are honored to have Janani ma'am here. Ma'am is renowned for her dedication to providing comprehensive eye care to patients from both interstitial and unorganized sectors. Janani ma'am's journey in optometry is truly inspiring. She graduated from the Elite School of Optometry and went on to complete her master's in optometry at the Sankaranitharale Academy. Currently, she is esteemed assistant professor at the Elite School of Optometry, where she teaches occupational optometry. In addition to her teaching responsibilities, ma'am also guides both undergraduate and postgraduate students in their research activities, fostering the next generation of optometry professionals. Ma'am is also pursuing her PhD with a focus on establishing occupational color vision standards. Her research contributions have been recognized and published in peer-reviewed journals, showcasing her expertise and commitment to advancing the field of optometry. We are thrilled to have you here to share your knowledge and insight with us today. Thank you so much, ma'am, joining with us. The speaker for today is Ms. Rithika Srinivasan, pursuing her third year in optometry at Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry. Ms. Rithika, please start your presentation.
Thank you for the warm welcome and introduction, Rahman. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahman. Introduction. Hazard. It is a process, phenomenon, or human activity that may cause loss of life, injury, and other health impacts, property damage, social and economic disruption, or environmental degradation. It leads to political danger or adverse health effects on something or someone. Beliefs of International Labour Organization. Occupational safety and health are vital components of decent work. The physical conditions and mental demands of the workplace determine to a great extent workers' conditions. Occupational accidents have a significant human, social, and economic cost, which we should strive to eliminate by ensuring that all workplaces are safe. Safety. Safety is the freedom from damage to health and property. As damage is a result of risk, safety is the freedom from risk. Total safety is achievable only when the source of risk is completely eliminated and varies depending on the physical circumstances and human acts. Prevalence. According to International Labour Organization, occupational related diseases or illnesses accounted for an estimate of 2.4 million of the total estimated deaths each year. A National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health report indicated that an estimated 6 lakh to 8 lakh percutaneous injuries occur annually to healthcare workers. The healthcare sector, most unsafe working environments, putting many healthcare providers or workers at risk of being exposed to various occupational hazards, such as various biological and non-biological hazards. Ocular hazards includes mechanical and non-mechanical. Mechanical includes closed globe injuries and open globe injuries. Closed globe injuries comprises of contusion, lamella laceration, superficial foreign body. And open globe injuries includes laceration and rupture. Laceration includes penetrating trauma, intraocular foreign body, and perforating trauma. Pictorial representation of closed globe injury includes contusion, lamella laceration, superficial foreign body. Pictorial representation for open globe injuries includes rupture, penetrating, intraocular foreign body, and perforating. Rupture is the total detachment of iris, penetrating as only the entry point and no exit. Intraocular foreign body can be due to surgical procedures. Perforating includes exit and entry point. Causes of workplace hazards include physical. In physical, the causes are vibration, heat, radiation, cold, noise. Chemical causes for chemical includes hydrocarbons, acids, fumes, alkalines, amines. Biological causes are bacteria, virus, fungi, and spirochete. Dust includes baggage, cotton, silicate dust. Ergonomical is the abnormal position for the workplace. Fire and explosives are the causes for workplace hazards. Stress and physiological causes includes fatigue, verbal abuse, work shift, interpersonal relationships, stress, monotony, bored of doing the same work for long period of time. The adaptation of work to man and of each man to his job. The man physical capacity and mental ability of a man should be matched with job. Physical and mental demands of the job is very much needed. Globally, close to half of the estimated population suffer from preventable vision impairment or blindness or unaddressed vision impairment. According to the World Health Organization data, vision impairment due to eye diseases such as presbyopia, age-related macular degeneration, and glaucoma will influence the worker's ability to work safely and accurately during the later stages of work life. Work-related open globe trauma and other ocular injuries are global cause of concern. Temporary employment, poor education, insufficient management, practices of industrial health and workplace safety, coupled with poor attitude toward prevention of accidents related to occupational hazards have been identified as some of the significant reasons for continued occurrences of workplace accidents. Workplace-related ocular trauma results in significant morbidity in a young population of patients and is also an important cause of acquired monocular blindness in a rapidly industrializing country like India. Overview of occupational ocular hazards includes mechanical, ergonomic, chemical, and biological non-ionized radiation. The need. Industrial workplace hazards regarding debris, chemicals, radiation, or blood-borne, droplet-borne pathogens mandate the need to use custom eye safety personal protective eyewear. Use of personal protective equipments, and more importantly, optimal sized and proper fitting personal protective equipment is essential in such scenarios. Healthcare workers and laboratory and janitorial staff are also at risk of acquiring infectious diseases. The recommended type of safety protection depends entirely upon the hazards faced in the workplace. Personal protective equipments. Equipments that are worn to minimize exposure to hazards that cause serious workplace injuries and illness. Definition of personal protective equipments. Devices used to protect employees from injury or illness resulting from contact with chemical, radiological, physical, electrical, mechanical, or other workplace hazards. Occupational Safety Health Administration conduct documented assessment of workplace hazards, provide appropriate personal protective equipments when required, provide training for when personal protective equipment is required, what personal protective equipment is required, proper use of personal protective equipments, limitations, and care and maintenance. Qualities of personal protective equipments includes provide protection against hazard, comfortable to wear, easy to clean, not costly to replace, cosmetically acceptable, should not condense, not irritable to skin, light in weight and not hamper movements, does not impair vision, possesses optical quality, durability, and non-inflammable, possesses compatibility with other personal protective equipments. Selection of PPE. Selection of PPE depends on the type and severity of the hazard. The classification is based on the size of the hazard and the impact it has on the ocular surface. Hazard smaller than 2 mm in diameter and causing supervision damage to eye is a low impact hazard. Example, hammering, handling wires, rocks, brick or cement, manual chipping, riveting, grinding, woodworking, machine disc cutting, medium impact hazards. Proper use of PPE. Any safety program is considered effective if the given PPE is used and maintained well. The effective use of PPE depends on the user's understanding of the need. Comfort, ease of use, non-interference to work, economic, social, and disciplinary sanctions available to influence the attitude of the user. PPE includes eye and face protection, hearing protection, hand and skin protection, body protection, head protection, foot protection, respiratory protection. Eye and face protection. Protect from airborne particles, liquid chemicals, molten metals, light radiation, dust. PPE used for eye and face protections are safety glasses with side shields, goggles, face shields, welding helmets. Goggles. Surround the eye area, more protection in situations. Splashing liquids, fumes, vapors, powders, dust, and mist cannot enter the eye and causes ocular hazards. Most indicate that they are chemical splash goggles to be worn for the purpose. Uncomfortable to wear with other headgear like helmets, earmuffs, or respirator. Face shields. Full face protection used around operations which expose you to molten metal, chemical splashes, or flying particles. Limitations are not considered eye protection, will need to wear goggles or glasses underneath. Can fog up if working in a poorly ventilated area. Safety glasses are much stronger and more resistant to impact and heat than regular glasses. Equipped with side shields that give you protection from hazards that may not be directly in front of you. Should fit comfortable on face through all job tasks. Proper fit. Welding helmets provide both face and eye protection. Use special absorptive lenses that filter the intense light and radiant energy that is produced during welding operations. Limitations include heavy and odd fog up. Must wear safety glasses or goggles underneath helmet to avoid ocular hazards. Head protection. Types of head hazards: impact, electric shock, trips. Personal protective equipment for head protection includes hard hats. Body protection. Types of body personal protective equipments includes insulated coats and pants to avoid fire, heat, and cold. Sleeves and aprons work well when pouring or manipulating chemical to reduce splash. Make sure the sleeves and aprons are appropriate for the chemical to avoid hazards. Sign categories in workplaces. Sign categories as shown in the table below. There are 3 basic sign categories used in the workplace: regulatory, warning, and information. Each category is distinguished by its shape. These categories are divided into subcategories that can be recognized by the color. Category 1 includes regulatory. A circle indicates that an order is enforced. Subcategory: prohibition and mandatory. Prohibition forbids an action. Mandatory requires an action. Color: red and black on white for prohibition, and for mandatory, white on black is used. Warning: a triangle indicates caution or danger. Caution and danger are the subcategories. Caution indicates a potential hazard. Black on yellow is used. Danger indicates a definite hazard. White on red is used. Third, information. A square indicates information. Emergency indicates the first aid, health, fire protection, firefighting, and emergency equipment. White on green color is used. General information indicates permission on public information. White on blue color is used. Color coding. The coding labels and tape identify the type of hazard, which helps the employee identify the level of severity. It is meant to reduce the possibility of injuries. The following chart represents the color codes of both ANSI and OSHA. Color red represents danger and uses safety cans and signs. Red color stop and is used for stop, an emergency stopper or button on machinery identification of fire equipment. Fluorescent orange or orange red. Biosafety, labels and containers for blood and infectious waste. Warning labels must be fluorescent orange or orange red with a biosafety symbol in a contrasting color, yellow. Caution. Tripling, falling and striking hazards. Flammable, keep fire away. Labels on cabinets, safety cans, containers for explosives, corrosives or unstable materials. Orange, warning. Parts of machinery or energized equipment that may cut, crush, or otherwise injure. Inside of transmission guards for pulleys, gears, etc. Green. Safety. Location of first aid equipment. Location of safety equipment includes respirators, safety showers, etc. Blue. Information. Signs, bulletin boards, specific railroad warnings against starting, using, or moving equipment being repaired. Black, white, yellow, or combination of black with white or black with yellow represents boundaries, traffic or housekeeping markings, stairways, directions, and borders. Magenta or purple on yellow represents radiation caution, X-ray, alpha, beta, gamma, neutron, and proton radiation. Conclusion. About 13 million people are estimated to be affected with vision impairment due to workplace injury, as per the ILO and IAPB, with an estimated 3.5 million eye injuries occurring in the workplace every year. Occupational safety and eye health programs need to be designed to safeguard the vision of workers, with a primary focus on prevention from exposure to workplace hazards, protection of the ocular hazard of the workers, and provision of insurance coverage packages to include workers naturally occurring vision impairment in risk assessments. The wellness of vision in workplace revolves around blindness prevention programs that serve to educate supervising on adoption of personal protective equipment and provision of personal protective equipment to workers at risk by the industry management. These are my references. Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to present here. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rithika. It was an elaborative presentation. Ma'am, now I request you to add your points, ma'am.
Yeah, so good, Rithika. It went well. You covered on every aspect of the safety at work, and not only with regards to eye, you also covered general safety as well. So to start from our conclusion, yes, of course, most of the most of the eye injury are preventable, and maximum are happening at the workplace. So whatever it is happening in the workplace is about 90% is preventable, and the person is going to be wearing their safety eyewear or like any protective measure that is being given by their employer. But what happens in at least in India is like when it regards to the organized sector, or to be in specific, when it comes to the industrial sector, the people are taken care of the workers. So the employer makes sure the employee is wearing the PPE properly. Let it be goggle or let it be like apron or any cloths. They are any PPE they have been provided. But our concern is, at least in Indian population, is unorganized sector workers, which comprise at least 92% of the population. So with the term unorganized sector is like people who are working not under any industrial sector or not being covered by any laws or other thing. Like example, like welders, construction workers, and people who are working in lathe workers, carpenter. Those are the unorganized sector workers. So before me going into the topic, so like you can tell me like what are the common hazards you face in your daily activities, like in your workplace or at your house. So what are the like either Rithika can answer, or like whoever is want to answer, you can answer. What are the common hazards you face at your hospital?
Other students, you can also give it a try. Ma'am is asking a common question. What kind of hazards do we occur and do we get exposed to in the hospital nature? Third years or second years, even you can try answering.
Yeah.
And yeah, YouTube participants, those who are joining us live, please try to answer. The common question which ma'am asked is what kind of hazards do we come across in hospitality nature? Anybody wanna try?
Just give it a try. You know what is happening at your hospital, like. So if it is not in your hospital, how will you understand other people's work? You should know your hazard first, right?
Just give it a try. Even if it is wrong, it's fine.
Yeah. Rithika, maybe you should give a try because you took the class. Like you should be able to answer this. Yeah. So, what is the hazard that is happening in the hospital? Where do you, how do you, under which category you put that hazard? You're not audible.
Rithika, try to unmute and talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, where do you put the hazard you're experiencing or exposed to in the hospital? Under which category of the 4 type of hazards you spoke, right? Physical, chemical, biological, and ergonomical. So, where do you put the hazard you're experiencing or exposed to in the hospital? Under?
Ergonomical
Okay.
hazards mostly, ma'am.
And what is the main hazard? Ergonomical, yes. But otherwise?
Mechanical.
Okay. Example? So, when I want to tell something, you
When,
should tell me example.
when we are traveling to hospital,
No,
we
only at
may
the
get
hospital. When like if we're gonna start from the house, I can tell. Then it is going to be many. So at the hospital.
when exposed to AC,
Okay,
we
what?
may get eye strain, dryness.
Okay, dryness yes, but eye strain no.
When we are using phone for longer, or we are
You are missing a big picture here. Like you're missing something very important here. Like so, like hospital is a place of what? Like you get a patient. So
infections, ma'am.
yeah. So where do you categorize the infection under? Under which type of
Biological hazard.
that should be your first answer, right? Because you're exposed to various infections. Patient might have some infection, like when it is going to be rainy season or it is going to be summer, people might be having conjunctivitis. That is a most frequent, common hazard. As an optometrist, you are exposed to biological hazard. So how do you protect yourself from those hazards? What are the
Use
common things you do?
eye drops, ma'am.
How do you protect yourself? That is, you're not managing them, right? So how are you protecting yourself from the hazard? So you
Using
see a patient with
sanitizers.
conjunctivitis. Yeah, so you sanitize your hands. So you sanitize your instruments. If you know the patient, you just examine the patient with the, conjunctivitis. You wipe your street lamp, your doorknob, and etc. So like you, all the occupation have their own hazards. So do we have any ocular hazard at the hospitals, or hazard that needs eye protection? Just give a guess. But I don't think so. There's any ASA that is like, because we don't deal with any surgical procedure. You're not that exposed to any splash of, any biological fluid, let it be saliva or let it be, urine samples or let it be blood. You're not exposed to any of those materials at the workplace. Yes. But otherwise, yes, at the hospital, we are exposed to various microorganisms, let it be bacteria or virus. And if the patient has got any cold or cough, we are exposed to airborne infections or droplet infections, in etc. And so that's why, like when in COVID, also we are wearing mask and working so that when we are working close to the patient, we shouldn't be getting any infections. And yes, so like you wanted to tell me like what are the other occupation where it has very high risk of hazards are there, which you see in daily routine, any occupation with greater risk of ocular hazard or ocular injury, to be precise.
Mainly at the industries, ma'am.
Okay, what are the industries?
Chemical manufacturing industries.
Okay, then.
And at welding shops.
Okay, so in welding shops, like what are the hazards they are exposed to?
Penetrating.
Okay, like let it be general. Like let me not make it as a viva. So yes, like So like you can just discuss, like, because if I want to keep talking, it will be like monotonous. It will be like a typical lecture. So anyone can add your points. Like what are the occupations like are at higher risk of this thing. Only if you realize that, you'll know what to prescribe, and you'll know what to when to prescribe and what to prescribe. So since you took the class, so you are Bakra today, so you should tell me. Okay, welding, you said, like can you describe the occupation welding? Like what do the welders do? Have you seen people involved in welding?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Okay, or some easy occupation will go. You've seen people involved in carpentry?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is easy. So like what happens during the those
When they
occupation or
drill,
those occupation?
when they drill the tree,
Okay.
wood particles, there may be
Okay.
dust particles which
Yeah,
affect their
so they're
health.
exposed to sawdust when they cut the tree. So drilling is drilling. We drill the wall and cut the wood. Okay, so they cut the wood, and when they are cutting using any mechanical cutter, let it be a regular saw knife or something like that. So they exposed to dust particles. So we need to understand what is the type of hazard they are exposed to. So let me. I would like to share my screen.
Try sharing, ma'am. I guess you can share it.
Is my screen
Is it
visible?
asking any permission?
Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am. It is coming. Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you can stop me like then and there, like and yeah. So where do we really start? Like for me to give a eye protection, where do I really start? So this is when the as like our limit is just vision, eye and vision safety, like ocular safety. I'm just confining myself to the safety of eye and face. Okay, not to go going for ventilator or mask or gloves. So I need to understand what is the type of a hazard the person at the workplace is exposed to. It can be like, as Rithika said, it can be anything. Like it can be a flying particle, it can be a powder of a chemical, or any dust or any raw materials they are using. It can be any spray that they are using at their workplace, paint or varnish or any fixatives or something like that. It can be fumes of a chemical, it can be a liquid itself that is splashing, or it can be vapors of any chemical. The person might be exposed to excessive heat. Like as you said, when the person working in the glass manufacturing industry, they are exposed to extreme heat because the glass will be constantly, and the molten glass will produce a lot of heat, and yes, they are exposed to excessive heat there, heat and humidity there. Like as she said, like in welding, people are exposed to intense light, and this can be in the form of they can emit UV radiation, they can emit infrared radiation, they can also emit laser. And people sometimes might also be working like in a places like construction workers and all. They are exposed to dusty and windy condition where they are exposed to fine silica particles or sand particles at their workplace. So for me to understand, or for me to know what type of PPE I'm going to give them, so I should know what type of hazard they are exposed to. So yeah, where do I get this information? Where do I get the information of what type of hazard they are exposed to? You want to try?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, ma'am?
So like, how do I know what type of hazard the patient is exposed to, or the person is exposed to? So as I said, like we need to. I'll be prescribing or suggesting any safety eyewear. Let it be ocular or both eye and face wear, based on the type of hazard they are exposed to. So how do I know? How do I get to know like what is the type of safety the person might be needed at his workplace? Where do I get that information from?
Students, you want to try answering? Yes, you can answer. Or else Rithika.
Yeah, or else otherwise Rithika is the bakra.
Ma'am,
Yeah. I'm just
by
sharing two
doing
points.
risk assessment, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Risk assessment, yes, that's right. And like, have you heard about the exact terminology for that, like from any of the books?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, risk assessment is a broad term, yes. Like, yeah. So, the mostly at these in the industrial setup, the safety officer or the team leader or a safety personnel of the particular industry will undergo, like if they're going to start a workplace, or if they're just constructing an industry or bringing in a manufacturing industry, or if they're going to buy a new manufacturing machine or something like that, or if any new manufacturing process comes in. So like they'll do a risk assessment, and from the risk assessment, it just starts right from the chemicals they are using till the manufacturing, the outcome of the product or some process they are into. So throughout the process, they'll see what are the hazards or any risk they are exposed to. Let it be physical, chemical, ergonomical, and all the aspects. So that is one part of yes. So otherwise, in specific to the eye and vision, we perform a task called visual task analysis, where using Grandis task analysis nomogram, where we go to their workplace, we try to understand like what is that, how the task is done, what are the various visual demand they are exposed to, or that is important for them, like visual demand, which includes if the person needs a good color vision there, the person needs good stereopsis for the task to perform, if they need a good visual fields to do, or how much amount of visual acuity the person needs for them to perform a task. So this is how we try to understand, and the process is called visual task analysis. So as a part of visual task analysis, I'll also understand what are the hazards at their workplace, and what are the chemicals they are using, and when they do these particular tasks, and what are the potential hazards, and what are the potential risk factors, or if they'll be as a good risk for eye injury or finger injury or toe injury or etc. Something like that. So this yes. So at the industrial level, yes, the industrial safety officer will be taking care of all these things. They'll do a risk analysis, and when in case of a non-industrial setup, we do visual task analysis. Okay, so you are in a situation where you cannot do both of these things. So how do you think you can understand the person's occupation or occupational risk? So a person A comes to your clinic, so you wants to prescribe them a safety eyewear, like, or you wanted to know if the person needs a safety eyewear. So how do you go about that? Hope you got my question.
Yeah,
So you don't know, you don't have any background information of risk analysis that is being done at his workplace, or neither you did a visual task analysis. So you don't have any information of that. But you wanted to know the person's if the person has to be prescribed any safety eyewear or not. So how do you go next? Like, what do you do next? So how do you try to get the information about his occupational or occupational needs, visual needs, or safety needs? What do you do?
I'll try to collect history from the patient, ma'am.
Exactly. So like you can ask the patient, like you can ask them like what are they working as, and you can ask them to elaborate their occupation. Like you can ask them like the person is going to come and tell me like yeah, I'm a carpenter. So you can ask them like, oh, so what are the tasks you are involved during your carpentry? You just cut the tree, or you just cut the tree based on the measurements. So you just cut the tree, and as well as you carve the tree, or what are the it can be a carpenter, or you can just be cutting the tree and not doing anything else. Some carpenter, they might be doing a cupboard or a door or some wooden article or something like that. Some can be artisans who are involved in carving or something like that. So you need to ask them to elaborate their occupational task, so that you know what are the hazards they're exposed to. So even if you're not very clear about that, you can ask them. So while you are working, what are the various hazards you're exposed to? There might not be a very familiar with the term hazard or risk. You can ask them like, so what are the, if you are, how frequently you exposed to an eye injury at your workplace? So when was the last time you went to an hospital to remove any debris or particle from your eyes? Or how frequently you have experienced any irritation or redness in your eyes, and or like how frequently, as I said, like how frequently you expose to eye injury, or how frequently a particle is hitting your eyes and you had a near miss experience at your workplace. So you can collect this information, and at the end of this information, like cumulatively or consolidating this information, you'll know how risky is this occupation and what is the type of occupational glasses or safety eyewear, or the combination of safety eyewear that you might be needed. So either most of the time you'll have it online, but in case of industries is already been taken care. Is employer, a safety officer would have been given him a particular glasses to be worn. But our concern is like people who are not covered by these set of regulatory bodies or safety norms. So we are concerned about those people largely. Yes, and so if I'm too fast, you can stop me then and there. Yeah. Yeah. So now I know what is my hazards are. So I'll be deciding what type of PPE I need to be choosing them. So it can be just goggles, or I may need goggles is just a glasses with a side cover, or I may need to choose both the goggle with the face shield or a visor. I may need a goggles with helmet and goggles with a face or it can be just a face shield, or welding helmets which can protect both eye and face. So I go about choosing goggles when the place is just has an flying particles, or any dusty particles, or minute to small to larger objects flying, or any metal particles and those things like that. So I may need to choose a goggles plus face shield when the person is going to expose to chemical splashes or any fumes, something like that. So where he is forcefully exposed to sudden exposed to fumes, or when he's going to open a chamber or something like that. So he may need a goggle when he's been exposed to a strong chemical, or goggles and face shield when he's exposed to fumes, vapors, or chemical splashes and those things. So, and goggles and helmet, yes, when in specific to welding and other things where people are exposed to high impact particles. This goggles and helmet can also be part of can be also worn in the construction industries, where they wear goggles to keep them safe from the silicon dust and other stone dust at their workplace, and helmets to keep them safe from the falling. If they are falling from they have good chances of falling from height, so that will keep them safe from the heights, and that will keep them safe from the impact, that is if the stone is going to fall on their head, or if they're going to trip and fall, or any other tools that is going to fall on their head, this helmet is going to keep them safe. And face shield, where there is not much of a eye injury can happen, or a person might not be exposed to any dust or something like that, but he is potentially can be exposed to splashes or fumes. Then you need a face shield, and if there is going to be like face that is going to cover them well. And welding helmets, as you know, like in case of an industrial welding where he's been constantly been doing welding task, so that time you may go for a welding helmets, where the person will be wearing a helmet, and along with that there's an auto darkening glasses is there. Like there's a recent advancement where once the person is exposed to it, welding glasses, he'll be like a welding radiation, like the glasses turn dark, glasses becomes darker, and once it is done, it becomes normal, or it becomes transparent. So we need to choose it based on that. But this only these two things like we can suggest most of the time. But otherwise, the goggles, face shield, helmets, it's more specific to the industrial safety eyewear than a regular safety eyewear that under our preview. So if I can show you a few glasses here with me. Yeah. So this we call it as afocal lenses. So this is this visible, like clear, and this thing? Yeah. Good. So these are the afocal glasses, or these are the other example of afocal glasses, where they can it'll just cover the workers completely, that the sides will be covered. So I can wear this when I'm just going to be exposed to dust and other debris or smaller to larger dust particles. It will be covering my face completely. But again, like this is when this I can wear this when I'm not don't have any potential risk factors for harming my face or any other part of my face. So when it is going to be ocular safety, I'll be going for this thing. So when I wanted to when I wanted to incorporate spectacle power along with my safety eyewear, I will go for something like this, where the sides are detachable. I can wear it as a glasses. Yeah. So it comes with the detachable, is this clear? Yeah, it comes with the detachable side shields, and I can wear it as a glasses in a regular day when I'm going to expose to some of the hazards at my workplace. I'll be wearing it along with my side shields. But again, the disadvantage of this type of glasses are it has very low impact resistance, and there are good chances that my eyes are still at the risk of any impact related injuries. But it will always protect me against the splash or other related injuries, like not like a very a hot chemical splash or any molten metal splash but other minor splashes and other debris it will protect me from. And these are the other type of glasses where with the closable, adjustable side shields will be there. I can either wear it this way or I can turn it to my side. So it will be like this. Okay, you can just stop me whenever you wanted to follow or like want to see this particular safety eyewear again so that I can show you. And this is a full cover safety eyewear where I can be wearing if you can see here, there's another glasses here. So I can be wearing my safety spectacles inside this, and over this I can wear this. So this I can wear again when I'm exposed to intense chemicals, and it will have a rubber here so that it will have a grip on my face and it will not move whenever it is loose or something like that. So this is in specific to the type of safety eyewear, and I need to how I'll be going about choosing them. Yes. And the accessories. So like does the particular task need any other accessories along that need to be incorporated with the safety eyewear? Like as I said, yes, prescription eyewear, when I wanted to give the person prescription along with the safety eyewear, I will go for something like this where I can fit the lenses here, and also like this can be a detachable safety eyewear, like I can just remove the side covers and I can also make the person wear it as a regular glasses as well. And so this is another type of safety eyewear where I'll not be detaching my sides, but it can still protect me. But these type of safety eyewear where we cannot do any prescription here because it has so much of curve here and it will have some prismatic effect and patient might not be very comfortable. And this can be prescribed only for the person who is emmetrope and who's like really very comfortable with these classes. Otherwise, if he's even having a smaller power or even a minor refractive error, you can always go ahead with prescribing this type of safety eyewears. And if it requires any tints or coating, something like that, so if you can see a green tint here, like is this visible? Yes, someone can answer this.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah, so this is one of the this is one of our green tints we tried to the welders where when it comes to welding, it is not they are exposed to intense light when they are into welding. So any welding glasses will work on cutting most of the lights at their workplace, and they're just left with 5 to 10% of transmission for them just to see where the welding is happening. So this is one of the tint with which is like G10. It transmits only 10% of the visible light, and less of the visible lights will not be passing through this. So we tried prescribing this green tints to the welders because green will not transmit UV beyond this, and it will not transmit infrared also beyond this because it is a filter. It will cut both UV and infrared radiation through this. And yeah, so G15, but I can also G10 it is. And I can also incorporate refractive error in this. It will also keep the person safe from the sights and other related injuries. But in welding, it has also been noted in Indian setup where the person is also exposed to various hazard, because not only one person will be welding at a time. So if I'm going to be sitting and welding here, my colleague is going to be sitting there and welding. So he is also exposed to this debris or many metal particles, not only from the welding I am doing, but also from the sides. So in those cases, it is not only for them to wear a safety glasses, but also it is important for them to wear a face shield, or the face shield can either be a handle face shield, or it can be a helmet that is going to provide them a better safety. Most of the time, helmets are better because it will keep your hands free and you can just continue your task with the most better comfort. What happens in case of face shield is that you'll be wearing the glasses and you need to hold them in your hand, and it will be very difficult for you to work along with that. Most of the time, yes. And other thing is that we may need to provide them with bands or thread, the spectacle accessories, where it is not going to fall off their face or fall off their from their face or ears, so that it is going to be fit, keeping them fit in their eyes. And other than this tints, we can also go for a photochromatic coating, where it is going to keep them from glare at their workplace, especially for drivers. We did try it giving for the salt pan workers, where we gave them, hope you have seen people who are collecting salts or cultivating salts. So in salt pans, the people are exposed to intense light, because the salt are pure white. It'll reflect most of the light, and they'll at their workplace they experience very bright white light around them. So we gave them photochromatics. So when they're working outdoors, it will turn darker, as you know, and they did report reduced glare reduction at their workplace. And yeah, as I said, side shields, if it is when it's going to be a prescription safety eyewear, it can be a detachable side shields and etc. And this is yes. So prescribing these things, it'll just not stop just okay, this is your workplace has these safety hazards, just go wear a safety eyewear. No, that's not where your role stops. So once you're aware about these are the potential hazards at their workplace, you need to be making the patient or employee or person, if you're going to go to an industry, you need to make sure they understand how important is PP for them to use at their workplace. You should tell them how to care and maintain those PPT, and yeah, not just stop with prescribing them, but also make sure they're aware of the need for of their PP at their workplace, and how to care and maintain. You should wear your glasses with both the hands in, and you should remove it with both the hands, and it is not keep your glasses ulta like this, lenses facing down, or you could not be whenever you wanted to wipe the glasses, make sure the surface is clean, or just blow the surface a bit, so that the debris or any dust in the surface is going off. And you also need to tell them when it is a very right time for them to dispose the PP. If they are going to experience any scratches, or the coating is peeled off, and those kinds, it is also going to be a hazard in both in terms of vision and as well as the comfort, because it is going to affect their comfort, and they're going to compromise and work. It is going to be a problem. It is going to be a safety hazard there. And when it comes to again visual function, it is going to affect their productivity, because they experience glare, which will reduce their productivity at the work. So whenever you prescribe a glass, let it be a regular glasses as well. You need to tell them how to maintain them, how to use them, so that they use it properly. And they also need to be aware of when is the high time or when is the right time for them to discard this particular pair of PPE, and to start using the next, or to get the next one, or to, if they're from the industries, they should also be aware when they should report to their employer about discarding the particular PPE. When in unorganized sector workers, like what happens is that the welding or people who are involved in carpentry and all, they are always been taught that the people wearing glasses itself is a taboo, because they are considered as, oh, you are wearing glasses, so you have got your eyes have become old and you are not anymore fit for the particular task to be done. So okay, so you are wearing glasses, so you'll not be able to do this task as before. So you are wearing glasses, you are considered as disrespectful. So we even had a patient telling us, no, I cannot be wearing glasses in front of my employer because it will not be very respecting for me to wear glasses in front of them. So these are taboos and stereotypes still been prevailing under in various occupational sectors. But if you happen to see the employers, or if you are going for a camp or something like that, make sure the employee is aware like why he is wearing glasses and how it is important for him to protect his eyes from his workplace, and how it is going to be protective, and what happens if he is not going to be protected from the assets at his workplace. Unless and until he is very well aware of all these factors, he will not be using the glasses at all. And the fifth main point is that any glasses, it should be like fitting them very well. So most of the or if it is going to be very loose fit, it is not fitting them very well. If it is going to be very bigger than their face or very tight than their face, like they're definitely not going to feel comfortable. So when we try to understand the pros and cons of the various safety eyewear that we have been given, so most of them who are involved in hazardous occupation like welding, carpentry, and who are in painting and lathe workers and all, they did understand, yes, you have provided us with a safety eyewear. Now that I'm free from all the hazard, I'm not exposed to any small particles that is hitting my eyes. I'm not exposed to any debris or dust that is hitting my eyes constantly. We also given safety eyewears to farmers, where they did report that the dust is not falling in my eyes, the insects are not hitting my eyes now, the thorns are not I'm not exposed to prick of thorns anymore at my workplace, and etc. Because agriculture eye injury is one of the leading injuries, both in terms of eye and as well as the physical injuries. So these people also felt a little more comfort when working with safety wear. But on the other hand, we being in a tropical country where we are exposed to heat throughout like this 8 to 10 months in a year, wearing these glasses make them constantly sweat, so they feel something heavy on their eyes, and that is like they feel very sweaty. So when they sweat, their glasses get fogged. So those things are also happening because they don't want to wear them. And now that we also have equally, like women are also employed in various hazardous occupation, unlike before, what happens is that any of these safety eyewear is being constructed or like manufactured that is anthropometrically like fit the male facial features than a female facial features. So these things like fit male very well when compared to female. So what happens is that when we are prescribing these classes for various female agriculture workers and other people who are involved in the industrial sector, they say it is very loose on my face or it is very big in my face. So whenever I bend down or stoop down, these classes are sliding away from my face. So you should make sure it fits them very well, but also you need to ensure them how important it is for them to wear these glasses. You need to tell them, yes, you will be sweaty, yes, you may be feeling this fogginess on and off when you're working with the high temperature, or when you're working the month of May to June or September, you may experience high humidity and you may want to take off your glasses and work. But reassure them and insist them that is not the right attitude to be followed, and you need to tell them like how important is them for them to wear glasses. We have seen people working with welders and all, just working with a piece of glasses that will cut the amount of light that is entering their eyes. So we have seen people working with the 30 rupees safety glasses which are used for driving, 30 rupees cooling glasses which they use for like post cataract surgery which we give, those type of glasses also. So people sometimes people might not be aware like what they really need to wear at their workplace, and it is our role, it is our responsibility that we should make sure that people are aware that what is the right safety eyewear for their workplace. And it is also important both in industrial sector and as well as in an unorganized sector, or like whenever you prescribe a particular safety eyewear and the person is going to visit back to your clinic or visiting you back in the hospital, make sure they did got the glasses. And if they got the glasses and they discontinued in between, just ask them if like whether they're not complained about any of these classes at their workplace. Ask them like what was the disturbance they felt, what was the discomfort they felt when they were working. Try and see if you can fix them at this visit. If not, like you can try and giving them something better than a glasses that will not be really affecting their eye. Most importantly, it should not affect their vision or visual comfort while working. So the ultimate aim of PPT, as Rithika said, it should be very light in weight. It should have a good impact resistant. It should have good chemical resistant. If something is hitting the eye, the glasses or the frame should not melt instantly. So it should have a good impact resistance. It should have a good, corrosive resistance. And what else? Like usually we prescribe polycarbonate for that matter. And yeah, and it should not it should not be easily breakable, and it should not affect your vision, and it should be very lightweight. It should not be very heavy on your face, so that the patient might start experiencing headache or sinusitis related symptoms, and it will be very tight around their face, and they obviously wanted to take them off from their face. And it is in an industrial sector, it is important for the employer to to constantly maintain, or important for an employer to check how good is their safety eyewear, constantly see if it is need to be replaced on and off, and etc. And yeah, so most of the time, like not everyone will be in touch with people at the industry level, but when you are seeing patient at the clinical level, you can always make sure you can insist them, like if you feel your glasses are got so much of scratches, or if you feel, or when you're doing a lensometry itself, you'll know if the coating is peeled off, or if you see there are more number of scratches, you can ask them to change, and that's how it goes. Yeah, open to answer any questions. Hope I'm not like bombarded you with so much of things to remember.
No, ma'am, it was a very elaborative, nice session. Like students would have understood from start to end what should we do and where to report for. And we didn't find any questions as of now, ma'am. If students are coming up with any questions, we'll mail you for the same.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Gomati, over to you.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. Janani, ma'am, that was a really, really wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks. Yes. So, dear audiences, thank you all so much for your continuous support towards Optometry series. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and share the video with all your friends. The announcement for this particular session is admissions are open for bachelor's, master's, fellowship, and internship in Optometry. So you can start apply, please. To know more about yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So like don't just stop with prescribing a regular glasses. Don't just your role is not just checking the vision and being a part of regular activity. Just ask them what is their visual need at work. Do document what they're working as, what are the potential visual demands at their workplace. Ask them like if they're experiencing any eye injury or anything like that at their workplace. Try to be supportive of like whatever make them work better. Try to be part of their not only for their daily activities but as well as their work, because we spend our most of time at workplace only. So if we are not doing well at workplace, it is also going to affect our daily activity as well. So don't just stop with regular classes. I hope from today or from tomorrow you'll be asking what the patient is working as, and you'll try to prescribe them or suggest them a safety eyewear that is going to be demanding at their workplace. Yeah, good luck to you all. Happy being part of the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I hope all our students used to implement this from like this minute or from tomorrow for sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So the admissions are open at Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry for bachelor's, master's, fellowship, and internship in optometry. You can get the number in the description box. Thank you all so much. We'll meet in the next episode. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Meenakshi.
Thank you, ma'am.